Hey guys, I'm back and I wanted to talk about Sanguine Depths, everyone's least favorite dungeon. But specifically, I wanted to talk about what seems to be everyone's least favorite boss here, the second one, this guy, Executioner Tarvold. Um, it seems like in a lot of pugs and stuff that I'm in, most people don't really know what's going on with this boss, and it leads to being a shit show. Um, there's I there's got to be tons of ways to skin a cat here and different strategies, but I think if just give you guys like an overview of what's happening and the strategy that we use to deal with it, it might be helpful for you guys in your future keys and whatnot. So basically, let's talk about what's going on with him. He only actually has two abilities. It seems like there's a lot going on because of these orbs, but he himself, the unit, this guy, he only does two things. So the first thing he does is castigate. This is where he channels on a player. They take a ton of damage, and if you're next to them, you also take a ton of damage. So the easy fix for castigate is to just move out. Problem solved. That person moves out, they get healed, they maybe pop a defensive if it's a hierarchy or a tyrannical. No real situation problem there. The other one is he summons an ad. The ad radiates damage over time, which is what this growing pride buff is. And then when it dies, it leaves a puddle. The puddle does damage if you stand in it, and the puddle is bigger the longer the ad is alive. So you want to kill the ad as quickly as possible, and then you want the entire group not to stand in that puddle. And the faster you kill the ad, the smaller the puddle is. So another pretty straightforward like WoW mechanic. The problem is you get both of these at the same time. You have to deal with these orbs that are floating around. And this is where a lot of groups encounter trouble, where they'll get clipped by an orb that they're trying to dodge while also getting clipped by castigate while maybe standing in the puddle from the ad, and then you just die because you're taking way too much damage. So if you have a strategy to be cognizant of where those orbs are while also dealing with the boss's other two mechanics, it's an incredibly easy boss. It's like it becomes the easiest fight of the dungeon actually if you handle it in a smooth way. So I've created a handy visual aid. But before we get to that visual aid, let's just take a look at the map. So this area here is where you fight the Executioner. He spawns down here. And when you come into this zone, you're entering from this spot, and you can go around this way or you can go around this way. Every time I do it, I go left, so I'm going to kind of go over my strategy coming from the left. What I'm talking about, though, as soon as you understand kind of how the fight works, you could easily apply it to coming in from the other side. So, all right, so here's this visual aid. This is where these orbs are going to spawn at the start of the boss. So you've taunted the boss or whatever, the orbs spawn. There's an inner orb and an outer orb. They're the same whatever color they are in game. I'm just going to color them two different ones so it's easy to keep track of. They will always pass by each other at this point, based off of the fact that they're going at the same speed and they spawn at the same location and they're moving in opposite directions from each other around a circle. So every time they cross over, they're going to cross over here. Similarly, if the red orb is here, down at the end of this arrow, you know that the purple orb is here, right? If the inner orb is here, the outer orb is going to be paralleling its movements on the other side. So, knowing that, this is the strategy we're going to use. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the boss slightly back. We're going to be along the inside wall here, and we're going to pull the boss back along the inside wall, assuming we've cleared from this side. And the first thing the boss does is he casts Castigate. If it's on a melee player, you can have them take it behind the boss and be there by themselves. If it's on a ranged player, they can just take it out to the side. You don't have to deal with orbs for like the first 20 seconds or something, so you have plenty of time to deal with this Castigate. But the rule of Castigate is you always want to get it out from the group and be in a safe position if orbs are coming. Everyone's nuking the boss, no problem. The next thing that's going to happen is it's going to spawn an ad. This ad is going to be appearing on the boss. It needs to be picked up by the tank, and you need to kill it as quickly as possible. As soon as it dies, it makes a puddle. Since it was exactly where the boss spawned, presumably that's where you killed it, you need everyone to move back. You're going to move back along this inner wall here, just as is shown as this little visual aid. So you move the boss straight back, that puddle is there. That puddle doesn't go away. The orbs are like off in Narnia. They haven't even come back up yet based off of the timings here. But If the orbs are incoming and it took you a little longer than normal to kill the ad, what do? Well, when the orbs are coming, since you're back along this inner wall here, the outer orb is going to be the first one you see, right? It's going to spawn somewhere back here. You'll see it coming in. The red orb, meanwhile, the inner orb, is way off coming in at you guys. So, by being on the inside at all times, you're safe. This purple orb passes you by, and as soon as you see it pass by, everyone stops their rotation. You stop what you're doing if you need to, and you move out to the outer wall. Basically, you move into the wake of this outer orb, so you're safe. The inner orb then is coming by. You let the inner orb pass by, and then you move back into the inner wall. And you can see that's where the purple orb would be if the red orb was there. And that's it. All you do is repeat these three things. You move out with Castigate, you kill the ad on the boss, you move the boss straight back along the wall, and you dodge these orbs by moving out when you see the outer orb pass by, and then moving in after it's completed passing by. And that's it. You just repeat those 3 steps over and over again, and it's super easy. It gets really hectic when it's happening. I'll show you a clip of us killing the boss, and you'll see how much of a shit show it looks like, but it is really clean, regardless of what it looks like. All right, so here's this clip. I'm just going to play it and kind of talk through it. As you can see, we have a Prideful buff here, and our Lust is almost off cooldown. It's pretty easy to get a Prideful on this guy if you want to. You just have to invis like 3% of enemy forces or so, and then you'll just wind up with a Prideful on this boss if you do kind of the standard route where you pull the stuff in your way on the way to him. But yeah, anyway, I'll just play the clip and I'll pause it a couple of times and show what I'm talking about. So here we go. We're pulling the boss. We're starting on the inside. We watch this inner orb go by, then we move to the inside. Everyone's along the inside here. Castigate goes out. It's on a ranged. They're in the back. They've popped a defensive. They're getting healed. Okay, the manifestation spawns. Everyone immediately switches to it. This ad's going to die. We move back along the inside wall here. You can see the outer orb passes. When that outer orb passes, that's our indication that it's time for us to move out and then immediately back in. So as you can see, the orb passes, we move out. The other one passes, we immediately move back in. Castigate goes out again, then an ad's going to come out again, then we dodge orbs. And it's that same pattern over and over again. The only thing that's going to limit your ability to use this strategy is if it takes you too long to kill the boss. If you've only cleared half of this circle, right, this big circular room, you'll run out of room because you'll start hitting the other trash on the other side that you never cleared. Likely, though, that's not going to happen. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't know. I've been in some pretty terrible, even heroic groups before. But yeah, assuming that doesn't happen, you have a pretty easy time of it. Anyway, I hope this is helpful for you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.